Welcome back to the Abundant Behavior Podcast channel. I'm your host, Ali Banks. And on my platform, I like to bridge the gap from what the everyday person doesn't know, bring you guys some knowledge just so it can get you to your destination a little bit further. Today's topic on Monday Motivation is going to be about conformity. And the reason I want to talk about conformity is because this is what keeps a lot of people from getting to their God-given calling, for them to move into that flow state of what God called them to do in this world. Everybody knows they have a purpose. Everybody knows they have a mission. Everybody knows they have a journey assigned to their life once they're born. But a lot of people never get to the point where they actually want to fulfill that. And God was telling me, hey, man, tell them the reason is conformity. So what does this look like? What is conformity? So I looked up the definition of conformity, and what I saw, it actually aligned with what I was thinking. It said behavior in accordance with socially accepted conventions or standards. What stood out to me simply was socially accepted. What is socially accepted? Socially accepted is like what most people do that everybody thinks is the right thing to do. But the only reason most people do it simply is because other people do it. Nobody ever questions why they do things. They just see majority of people doing it. So they like, okay, that must be the right way to go about it. Or that must be the easy way to go about it. Or that has to be comfortable. You know, they live in a nice life. So that must be the right way to do it. And I think that you should change the way that you think about that. See, I've always been a type of person, like if 30 people was going left, I just was like, okay, let me see what right looks like. Like they all over here, they all convicted that the left is good, but let me go over here by myself and see what it's like. And I found that having that personality growing up was the reason that I became so successful, because I was always able to go out and do different things that majority of people never did. So I always got different things, which led to different results. And so if you want to go out there and get those different results, you can't be afraid of the unknown. See, most of those blessings that you're looking for, most of that peace that you're looking for is going to be in the unknown. But what do I mean? See, a lot of people, they let their current circumstances rob them of what their future could look like. So, you know, if every day you getting up, you going to this job and it's not the best job, but it's paying your bills. So you're like, okay, my bills is paid. You know, I'm eating. I'm not really living in a flow state, but it works. You know, you got to change your mind into, okay, what if I get up every day and I know I'm going to go to work, but I know I got a God-given call and I know I got a mission. So when I get home, I'm going to take just 10 minutes. I'm going to just figure out, I'm going to pray to God. I'm going to write some stuff down and I'm going to figure out what it is that I'm called to do. You know, and tomorrow after I get off work, I'm going to go to this job because I know it's paying my bills. But tomorrow after I get off, I'm going to take 10 more minutes and I'm going to write down some goals for the things that I said I wanted to do. All right, well, the next day, we on day 3. I'm going to go to this job. I'm going to continue to work hard at this job because that's paying my bills. But when I get off, I got 10 more minutes to put towards my mission. So today, I'm going to reach out to a couple people that's already in this field. I'm going to see what they did. And tomorrow, I'm going to take 10 more minutes and 10 more minutes. That's what it looks like to take the proper steps into getting out of survival mode and to get into the flow state to do exactly what you're called to do. See, a lot of people, they look at people's lives and they're like, man, that must take a big leap. That must take a long time. And people get so afraid of how long it's going to take that they never actually start. I know it was probably a thought on your mind a year ago and you thinking like, man, if I would have just did that a year ago, today I would have been a year in. And that's what most things, that can be the gym. You know, maybe you can be conforming in your health. You can be conforming at work. You can be conforming in many ways of life. You have to be in a flow state in every area. You know, they say how you do one thing is how you do everything. And that was very important to me. When I heard that, it changed my life. Because I was like, okay, if I want to live in a flow state, everything has to be in a flow state. I have to be in a flow state as a dad, but I also have to be in a flow state at school. I also have to be a flow state as a son. You know, I also have to be in a flow state when it comes to my finances. So if I'm conforming in any area of my life, it's going to flow over into all the other areas of my life. So what I had to do was check how I thought about things. You know, they say how you view what you do determines how you do what you do. Okay. So how do we get out of conforming? But I have a scripture for you guys. I have it down in my notes. And it's simply about conforming. This is Romans 12:2 from the New English Version. It says, do not conform to the patterns of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will. So what is that saying? It says that most people conform to the patterns of this world. What are the patterns of this world? Okay, we've seen that is some people are privileged, some people aren't. Some people have to work in certain places, some people don't. But you're not. But that is what people think. Those are the patterns of the world. Oh man, well, God must not like us because we living over here, or God must not, love us because he got us living in these neighborhoods. But God's telling you, don't be conformed to the patterns of the world, but renew your mind. So what does the renewing part look like? All right, I know I'm in this situation today, and I know I got thousands of other people who I need to save, right? I know God is calling me to something greater, and he's calling me to save these people. So let me get up, let me shake it off and let me walk out of this neighborhood and let me do some greater things so that I can come back and save this neighborhood. That's what it looks like. Instead of conforming to the neighborhood, how about you change the neighborhood? And that's what God is telling us in Romans 12:2. Don't conform to those patterns, but be transformed by it. Don't be so let down by where you live. Be motivated, be inspired by where you live so that it can transform you to something greater so that you can go back and help the other people whose minds just haven't gotten to the place where yours is. So he's telling us, don't conform to that. Don't do what everybody else is doing. Do something greater. Move out of that. That's where your gift and your calling is. Then you'll be able to test and approve what God's will is. His will. You'll be able to test and approve what his will is. What does he have for you? What does he have for the people around you? Once you get out of that, you'll be able to test that and see. Doors will start to open up. Money will start to fall into your lap. Opportunities will start to come your way. You will start to move into the flow state slowly but surely. But like I said, it only takes 10 minutes a day to put forth any passion into your gift. And I want to tell you guys a little story about myself when I was in the military. I used to look around, I used to be an E5 in the military. And so I'm like, okay, I got to get some more success. E5 is like, that's a little bit of rank, but it's not where the real money is at, in the military. So I'm like, okay, but I'm just looking around at my senior chief, my officers. I'm like, man, we all eating the same food. We all on the same hot ship, on the same deployment. We are all away from our families. I said, if I stay here, that's what my life is going to look like in the next 10 years. So I said I could either conform to the ways of my circumstance in the military, or I can get out and walk into my gift and do something that God is calling me to do. And so right then, that's when I decided to go from conformity, right? And I decided to go out and do what God called me to do. So I left the military, and it's been almost 3 years and I've been living my best life. Life is great. But it's because I made that decision not to allow my current circumstances to rob me of what my future was calling me to do. So in order for you to get out of that, you have to really lean into God and trust him. Really lean into him and really trust his word for you. When you have a lot of people around you and they telling you, man, you good at that, man. I think you should turn it into a business, or man, you do that so effortlessly. Oh man, you ever think about making some money doing that? That's God whispering into people's ear to tell you, hey bro, go ahead and start that business. Hey, go ahead and take those 10 minutes and just start to move into what I'm calling you to do. The only people that get different results is the people that do different things. It's nothing new under the moon and stars. You just got to be disciplined and focused and be determined to transform your mind, because this world is tricky. This world is really tricky. It can trick you so easily into believing that these thoughts that you hear on a daily basis are your own thoughts. And really is just you allowing the devil to sneak up on you and tell you you're not worthy. You allow him to sneak up on you and tell you where you are is because God's cursing you. Stop allowing the enemy to have so much power and dominion over your mind. Move into the godly flow of what he wants you to be thinking on a daily basis. When you wake up in the morning, what's the first thing you think about? You thinking about blessings. You thinking about something good. Man, you thinking about getting up and moving your body. Or every morning you waking up, you thinking about stress. You thinking about going to that job that you hate so much. You in a relationship that you hate. Don't conform to the ways of this world. You can transform at any second. See, that's the great thing about us as people. God has blessed us. He blessed us with Jesus, who has given us grace. So at any moment you can change and be a better person. That's where the transformation of the mind comes from. At any moment you have the ability to transform your mind. So you don't have to worry about being perfect in order to start, because I think a lot of people, we want to be perfect before we start changing, or sometimes we like to beat ourselves up so much to the point where we like, man, I know I'll never change from this. It ain't even no point in me trying. Like, I'm addicted to this. Like I ain't gonna never leave out of this neighborhood. Why would I even try? Like, it ain't no hope. That's the devil telling you that, bro. He's fighting out here. But we need more people inspired and more people motivated and willing to go out there and do the work. If you get more people out there willing to do the work, more people that's willing to not conform, more people that's willing to do different things, the faster the needle will move. But everybody has to do their part where they are. People can't be afraid. People, you can't walk around timid. See, I feel like too many people, they love to chase comfort. I think too many people love to chase comfort. They wake up every day looking for what's most comfortable. They looking for what's most convenient. See, every day I wake up, man, I'm like, God, thank you for bless me with more adversity. Bless me with challenges. Bless me with things that's going to grow my mind. I don't want to be comfortable. Your comfort zone is your danger zone. I don't want to do what's easy. I've seen where that's gotten me. Anytime I try to do anything easy, nothing comes from it but easy results. What you put out into this world is what you get back. So if you stand the trials, if you stand the test, if you stand up to the conformity, but if you stand up to the ways of this world, you will soon to see that it's going to bend to the power that you have towards it. You have dominion, you have power, you have God on your side. There's nothing that you can't do. If you look outside, if you look at the trees, if you look at the water, if you look at the ocean, if you look at the animals, that's all God. That's all you. Once you realize how powerful you are and how connected to the world you are, the more that you will lean into that. The more you will lean into that. The energy in the universe is the energy in me. And what that energy I command it to be. You have to repeat positive affirmations to yourself every day. Like, God, I know right now I'm living in this home. I know right now I'm in conformity, but God, I'm gonna get to the flow state. I'm gonna get to the milk and honey. I'm gonna get to the land you promised. Because every day I'm gonna get up every day and I'm gonna do what I can with what I have. I'm not gonna worry about what I don't have, God. I'm gonna just use what I can with what I got. Use me where I am. God, use me where I am with what I have to move the needle, God. These are things that you have to say daily. I can do all things through Jesus Christ who strengthens me. Just these things alone will have your confidence overflowing to the point where you feel like you can do anything, and you can through God. So I hope that you guys took this Monday motivation word, and I hope that this inspires you to go out and do great things. Move out of conformity. Do something different. And follow me on this journey as we get better and better. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Once again, I'm Ali Banks. This is the Abundant Behavior Podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment to this video. Thank you, guys.